One of the wonderful things I remember back then when I was much younger growing up is, as I say, I tell you a lot about when my sister and myself would have to go over by the bustle or the bush to actually go ahead and pick up wood to make charcoal. I remember sometimes we're lying down and lizard just literally crawling on your foot or crawling beside you because it's a bush with literally just insects all about, you know. I remember we're gonna have to be walking from the neighbor's house over to our house to get water from their standpipe to the drum, and then sometimes that's like a 7 minutes walk going one direction. And just imagine now you're gonna have to walk in the sun hot from the top of the hill to the end of the hill to fill up the drums across the road on the farm. I never really liked that, but anyways, sometimes I look at it and laugh. I remember sometimes we need to use the bathroom, and especially if you have diarrhea and you have to run real fast. You run down the hill, use the bathroom, and then by the time you finish, you look, you peep out, and then you run back up the top of the hill. Hopefully you don't have another diarrheal episode in the next 5-10 minutes, because then you'll be tired. Yes. I remember we were coming from our grandparents' house in Sweetland one time, and we were on this donkey, and I fell off the donkey, or I think it was my sister who fell off the donkey. The donkey just keep on running. Yes, and my sister in the bush, and we just there laughing. That was just something that was funny. So there was this jackfruit tree that was on the top of the hill. It was a pretty far distance, because when you're walking up that hill, you have to be standing and pausing because you can be very tired after it. And I remember picking that jackfruit, walking down the hill, and then by the time I reach up the hill where we live, my dad was like, oh, you need to bring back that jackfruit and put it down. Yes, never like it. There are days when we had other neighbors in the community in Sweetland, and sometimes they were coming from school, and we went ahead and light the land, and then you see smoke, and then you run off. Or you go ahead and pick people tangerine and orange, and you're walking and you're eating them, and you're just going on people's property. They call it trespassing. It was a good thing that a lot of people down there don't have gun in that aspect, where they be like, okay, then you're on my land and they shoot you. No, thank the Lord. But nowadays, I don't think you can do those things. But back in the days, you know, it was a serious joke, but we went ahead and we still do it. I remember sometimes coming from school, and we were there just walking in the rain, and you take off your shoes and you're just walking, playing in the water. By the time you reach home, you're soaked. But the good thing, you put your books in black bags or plastic bags in your bag, so that way they don't get wet, because if they get wet and you go back to school the next day, your teacher is going to spank you. I remember there were some little things, Ponciana. I don't know if a lot of persons know Ponciana, but Ponciana comes in, or some little beads that come in like some pods, and they're very slippery. So you put them on the floor, on the ground, and you can literally slide on them. So it's like you're skiing on ice, but we were skiing on gravel or the asphalt. And so you have one person going at the front and pulling you while you stoop down on these little pods, and then that person is like literally pulling you down the hill, or they literally push you down the hill and you literally just take off. Yes, I remember coming from primary school, and we're doing that down the hill, and it was just something that you look forward to, because by the time you reach the bottom of the hill, you run come up at the top of the hill, and you do it again 1 or 2 times, and you go home. There were a lot of things I can remember growing up, and these are just wonderful memories, you know, coming from school, coming from church, and my uncle would be like literally driving our heads, like literally your head is the gear stick. Yes, he'll be shifting it left, right, and center, and you just have to keep up the pace. Remember, you're young and your legs are very long, and you have to keep up the pace with them, because in no time you're going home. I don't know if anybody know about when you used to go and buy quarter bread, bread or big jilla oil, or half pint of oil, or anything like that. Yes, I remember one time my parents had sent us to go and buy saltfish, and we put the little money in the black scandal bag, and then take this thing a turn kite, and there was this big they call it maca tree. We call it maca tree. There was this tree that was very huge that was out by the main. And so we were there walking, playing with this bag until this bag decided to go in the maca tree. And we literally had to be throwing stones at this tree so that the bag can actually tear, so that the money can come out, because we needed the money to go and get the saltfish. Yes, you need the money. So what you're going to tell your parents? You're going to have to go back home and tell your parents that the money lost. How the money for lost? You can't do that. So we had to literally be throwing stones at the tree, trying to get the bag to tear or trying to get the bag to fall out of the tree. I think it had come down, but I don't remember. But one way or the other, we were able to bring home the sawfish, and it was more sawfish than expected. So we decided now to start eating piece of the sawfish because the sawfish just looked too big. We decided to go ahead and start eating some of the sawfish on our way home. And I tell you, when we reach home, thirst that kill us because the sawfish was salt. It was too salt. We just keep on drinking, drinking. And I remember our grandparents, I think it was our grandparents, was saying, why are you guys drinking so much water? We could not even eat the sawfish that they provided for dinner because we had enough and just be gulping down water around the clock. And so that was just something I remember.